This is SOSF. Alright, welcome back. Hey, weren't we just talking the other day about who the ultimate superhero is? So that got me thinking, who the hell is the baddest monster of them all? We've all had it, right? You're sitting around with your buddies, maybe after watching a movie, and the question comes up, who is the baddest, the strongest, the most unbeatable monster in the history of cinema? It's a classic debate. Someone immediately shouts Godzilla. Another guy says King Kong, and you're off to the races. But the more you dig into it, the more you realize it's a way more complicated question than it seems. It's not just about who's the biggest or who can smash the most buildings. That's like asking who would win a fight between a prime Mike Tyson and a Navy SEAL in the jungle. They're both deadly, but they're playing two completely different games. You know what I mean? The environment, the rules of engagement, it all changes the outcome. So I was geeking out on this, and I came across this crazy deep dive, like an analytical report, that some serious monster nerds put together. And they broke it down in a way that just blew my mind. They stopped looking at it as a simple ladder and started classifying these creatures into different, let's call them weight classes, or threat levels. It's not just about brute strength. There's a whole other world of power out there. So we're gonna go through this. We're gonna unpack who the real apex predator of the silver screen is. First up, you've got what these guys call the Tier 1 threats. The brutes. This is your classic monster. This is the category for the big boys, the city stompers. Their power is all about physicality. You can see it, you can measure it. It's about raw strength, how much punishment they can take, and how much explosive energy they can dish out. This is the Godzilla weight class. It's pure, simple, awesome destruction. And when you talk about the king of this class, for decades, it's been Godzilla. No question. He's the benchmark. He's the guy everyone else gets measured against. But even he has levels. There have been dozens of Godzillas, right? From the original 1954 guy who was a metaphor for the atomic bomb, to the superhero who defended Earth. But if you want to talk about the absolute peak of physical power, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the brutes, you have to look at this one specific version from a series of animated movies. They call him Godzilla Earth. Man, listen to this. This thing is on a whole other level. We're not talking about a 50-meter tall lizard. This dude is over 300 meters tall. 300 meters. That's like stacking the Statue of Liberty on top of itself 3 times. He's a walking skyscraper, a mountain of muscle and atomic fury. And he weighs over 100,000 tons. The scale is just, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. So, the backstory on this guy is that he was so powerful, humanity literally had to just give up and leave the planet. They just packed their bags, got in spaceships, and abandoned Earth. They come back 20,000 years later, and Godzilla Earth is still there, but he's not just living on the planet anymore. He basically is the planet. The whole ecosystem has evolved around him, to serve him. He's not a monster, he's a walking, sentient force of nature. And his stats are just bananas. You think, okay, he's big, but we can hit him with nukes, right? Wrong. According to the data in this report, humanity, with the help of 2 advanced alien races, by the way, hit this thing with a coordinated assault of 150 nuclear warheads. Some sources they cited say it was as many as 2,000 nukes. And it did nothing. Zero. He has this thing called an asymmetric permeable shield, which is just a fancy way of saying he has an electromagnetic force field that makes him basically invincible. A nuke to him is like a mosquito bite to us. He just doesn't even notice. Then you get to what he can do to you. His atomic breath isn't just a firestream. It's a concentrated particle beam, a laser of pure radioactive energy that measures in at 3 terawatts. That's a number so big it doesn't even mean anything to most people. It's powerful enough to vaporize a mountain range or shoot down a spaceship in orbit. He can also swing his tail so fast it creates a blade of pure plasma that can slice through anything. And he can roar with such force it creates a shockwave that wipes out entire armies. This isn't just the king of the monsters, this is a god of destruction. In a straight-up, toe-to-toe brawl, there is no one in this physical weight class that can even come close to touching Godzilla Earth. He is the absolute pinnacle of brute force. Of course, you can't talk about Godzilla without talking about his arch-nemesis, King Ghidorah, the 3-headed golden dragon from space. He's always been the ultimate rival. In the recent American movies, he's a perfect example of a top-tier brute. An invasive alien alpha, generating hurricanes just by flying, regenerating a whole head if you chop one off. A total beast, a true contender for the throne. He's the Ali to Godzilla's Frazier. A legitimate top of the food chain, Tier 1 monster. And there's another one in this class worth mentioning because he's just so damn cool and terrifying. A monster called Destroya. This guy is different. He's not an ancient dinosaur or an alien. He was born from the very weapon that was designed and used to kill the original Godzilla in 1954, the Oxygen Destroyer. Think about that. He is the living embodiment of Godzilla's own mortality. He's like a cancer made manifest. He starts as a swarm of microscopic creatures, then they merge into human-sized crab monsters, then bigger ones, then a flying form, and finally into this one giant, demonic final form. He's got this energy beam made of the same micro-oxygen power that killed the first Godzilla, and he's got a horn on his head that can project an energy katana, a freaking lightsaber, that was sharp enough to slice through Godzilla's hide. He's so brutal and vicious, he's the only villain to actually kill one of Godzilla's family members on screen, just murdering Godzilla Jr. in cold blood. He's the thematic opposite of Godzilla, a true instrument of death. A top-tier brute, without a doubt. But this is where the conversation gets interesting. Because what if the fight isn't in an arena? What if the goal isn't just to smash things? This brings us to the second category of monster, the Tier 2 threats, the infiltrators. These things are on a whole different level of terrifying. They don't knock your city down. They take it over from the inside out. Their power isn't about strength. It's about subversion, corruption, paranoia. They get inside your society, inside your family, inside your own damn head, and they rot it from within. And the king of this category, the monster that is the absolute definition of this kind of horror, is the creature from John Carpenter's The Thing. The Thing. Just thinking about it gives me chills. This is a monster that weaponizes paranoia. It's not a single creature. It's a living plague. It's an alien organism that operates on a cellular level. When it touches you, it starts to take you over, cell by cell. It consumes you and creates a perfect copy, a perfect replica that has all your memories, your voice, your mannerisms. There's no way to tell the difference just by looking. Your best friend, the guy you've known for 20 years, could be this thing, and you'd never know until it's too late. The horror of it is the breakdown of trust. You can't trust anyone. You can't even trust your own senses. The real genius of this creature's design is what the characters in the movie discover. Every single part of it, down to a single drop of blood, is its own independent organism with its own survival instinct. That means one infected cell is all it takes. One cell. And here's the truly mind-blowing statistic from that report I was reading. Some scientist character in the movie runs a computer simulation. If this creature ever got off Antarctica and reached a populated area, it would take roughly 27,000 hours, that's just over 3 years, to assimilate every single living thing on planet Earth. Not kill, assimilate. To replace. Humanity, animals, insects, fish, everything. Gone. Replaced by a global superorganism pretending to be us. The world would look the same, but it would be a silent, dead planet with nothing but this creature walking around in our skins. That is a victory condition that Godzilla can't even dream of. Godzilla can smash our cities, but we could survive. We could rebuild. With The Thing, there's no rebuilding. There's just replacement. Game over. Its only real weakness is fire. But how do you fight it with fire on a global scale? You can't. Once it's in the water supply, once it infects the insects, it's unstoppable. It's a biological checkmate. For my money, in terms of the most effective monster at achieving total global conquest, The Thing might be the top contender. Then you have another kind of Tier 2 threat, one that works on the psychological plane. And that's Pennywise from It. This is another level of insidious. Pennywise, or It, is this ancient, cosmic entity that takes the form of a clown, but its real weapon is your own mind. It literally feeds on fear. It studies you, learns what terrifies you the most, a leper, a giant spider, your dead brother, and it becomes that thing. It's a predator that customizes its attack for every single victim. And it has some serious horsepower. It can create these hyper-realistic illusions, make a bathroom fill up with blood, teleport around, regenerate from insane injuries. It has this subtle mind control effect over the entire town it lives in, making the adults just sort of ignore the fact that kids go missing every 27 years. It's this bubble of evil that it creates for itself. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. For all its cosmic power, its true nature is tied to your belief. It's powered by fear, but it's made vulnerable by courage. When the kids in the story, the Losers Club, stop being afraid of it, when they face their fears and unite, they can actually hurt it. They literally bully it into submission. Its power isn't absolute. It's relational. It's only as strong as its victims believe it is. This is a massive vulnerability. It's an eater of worlds that can be defeated by a bunch of kids with guts and a belief in themselves. So while it's terrifying and incredibly powerful on a psychological level, that built-in weakness keeps it from being the absolute top dog. Which brings us to the final category. The craziest, most mind-bending of them all. Tier 3. The conceptual threats. The gods. These things? Man, these things aren't just monsters living in our world. They are forces from outside of it. They don't follow the laws of physics because our laws don't apply to them. They're not playing chess, they're knocking the whole board over. Fighting one of these isn't like fighting an animal. It's like fighting a hostile concept, like trying to punch the color blue. And this is where we come back to that three-headed dragon, Ghidorah. But not the one we talked about before. There's another version. A version from that same animated series as Godzilla Earth. A being they call Void Ghidorah. This thing it's not even a creature. It's a god of nothingness. An energy-based entity from another dimension with completely different physical laws. It's worshipped by this nihilistic alien cult that feeds it entire planets just to escape their own existence. It doesn't fly through space. It gets summoned through 3 black holes that open up in our reality. Its golden necks just snake out of these portals, stretching for miles, and it doesn't have a body in our dimension. It's just a projection. So here's the scene that defines this thing's power. You have Godzilla Earth, the undisputed Tier 1 champion, the 300-meter-tall behemoth who can eat nukes for breakfast. He gets pissed off and fires his planet-busting atomic breath right at Void Ghidorah. And the beam just bends. It curves right around Ghidorah's neck and shoots off into space. Void Ghidorah didn't block it. It didn't dodge it. It bent space-time. It warped the fabric of reality so that the space the beam was traveling through literally detoured around it. Can you even comprehend that? You can't hit it. You can't touch it. It's intangible. It's not bound by our cause and effect. It's like a character in a video game who has God mode turned on. It can hit you, but you can't hit it, and we see this play out. This extra-dimensional god just leeches onto Godzilla Earth, this titan of physical power, and starts draining his energy, slowly killing him. And Godzilla, the strongest physical being we've ever seen, can do absolutely nothing. He is completely, utterly helpless. Void Ghidorah has one single, critical weakness. To interact with our reality, it needs an anchor, a witness in our dimension that's guiding it through some weird cosmic math. In the movie, it's this alien priest. And when the heroes manage to break that guy's connection, for a brief moment, Void Ghidorah becomes subject to our laws of physics. It becomes real, tangible. And in that tiny window, Godzilla is finally able to fight back and banish it. But that's the key. Its power is absolute and untouchable unless you can find and exploit this one, very specific, metaphysical loophole. Without that, it's game over for the entire universe. So, after all that, who's the strongest? Who gets the belt? Well, like I said at the start, it depends on the fight. You have to hand out a few different belts. For the heavyweight championship of the world, for pure, raw, physical, destructive power, your Tier 1 champion. The winner is, without a shadow of a doubt, Godzilla Earth. There is nothing that can stand up to him in a fair fight. He is the ultimate brute, the apex of physical might. For the strategic championship, for the monster most likely to achieve total, guaranteed, irreversible victory over all life on Earth, your Tier 2 champion, it's gotta be the thing. Its method is just too perfect. It's a silent biological apocalypse that you can't fight because you can't even see it coming. It is the ultimate infiltrator. But for the undisputed, pound for pound, all-time champion, the monster that sits at the top of the whole pyramid, it has to be Void Ghidorah. It's the Tier 3 god. Its power is on a completely different plane of existence. It doesn't win the game. It changes the rules of the game so that only it can win. The fact that it made the most powerful physical monster in history look like a helpless child proves its supremacy. It's not just a planet eater, it's a reality ender. It's fascinating when you break it down like that. You see how what we're scared of has changed over the years. We started off being afraid of big things that could crush us, a reflection of our fear of nature and then the atomic bomb. Then we got more sophisticated, and we became afraid of things that could trick us, of losing our identity, of paranoia, the enemy within. And now, we're creating these monsters that represent our fear of the unknown on a cosmic scale. The fear that our entire reality is just a fragile little bubble in a vast, hostile ocean of things we can't possibly understand. These creatures are more than just monsters, they're mirrors. So it's not just about which monster is strongest. It's about what kind of power is the most terrifying. Is it the power to smash a city? The power to steal your identity? Or the power to erase the laws of reality itself? It's a wild thing to contemplate. And that leaves me with one final thought to throw out there for you guys. A little brain melter to chew on. We've defined all these powerful monsters by their ability to destroy, consume, or replace us. Their goal is always our end. But what if the truly strongest monster isn't one that wants to annihilate us, but one that wants to integrate with us? Not like the Thing, which replaces, but something that forces an evolution, that creates something new and terrifying from us. What if the ultimate monster isn't a destroyer at all, but a creator? What would that look like? And would we even recognize it as a monster before it was too late? See you next time.